So my job is I run my own business. I buy and sell collectibles and some antiques. I sell them online and I sell them in a booth. I rent a space in an antique collectible mall where I put a lot of toys and comics and records and all that kind of stuff. So I do buy collections from time to time, and some of them are big, some of them they're all over the place, different types of stuff. Anyway, I got a call from a guy that I bought a big comic book collection from last year. So I ended up buying a whole bunch of vintage, like 90s in package toys, nothing too outlandish or crazy there. But when I got to his garage, he said, well, I also have this big garbage bin and recycling bin full of toys from his childhood or his brother's childhood that were buried essentially underground. And what happened was they were put in a shed on a shelf and the shelf collapsed, and then he said a groundhog got in there and like buried them. He asked me what I would pay for them, and it's kind of a tricky thing to assess because, well, they didn't even want to touch them. They were kind of so filthy. I don't know if there's any gems or not, but there's definitely a lot of toys that I recognize from when I was a kid growing up in the 80s. So I will definitely be getting back to my comic book, The Adventures of Poop Dog, in the next video where I do some sketch cards of the characters. But in the meantime, I have a bucket of warm soapy water, a brush. Actually, I should probably get some gloves. And so let's go through them together. I'll clean them and then we'll see what I've got. So to start off with, we've got some rubber wrestlers. We'll check them out a little further in a second, but I'm just gonna dump them into this warm bucket of water. Now there'll be a lot of guys I don't recognize in here, like this guy here. I have no idea who he is. This is gonna take a lot longer than I anticipated. These things are definitely filthy. I think I will clean whole bunch of Ninja Turtles now. Let's see what we've got. We got like a Flintstone version here, some caveman, a detective guy, Leonardo the hockey player. And when I was explaining to the guy that the toys would be much more valuable, you know, if they had all their accessory parts, he was convinced that all of the accessories were in that garbage bin. He said, no, him and his brother unearthed them and they saved all the little pieces. So anyway, we will find out. Okay, this is what we've got drying so far. We've got our rubber wrestlers and we've got our Ninja Turtles. Let's take a look just what's at the rest of this top of this box. So you can kind of see, it's a lot of miscellaneous stuff. Fred's needs a bath. Let's keep cleaning them. I'm really excited about the big bin, because I really didn't look at the big bin hardly at all, just the very top. And this one I could kind of see a little bit more. So that next one will be a total surprise. Gargoyle. My business has been kind of up and down and around ever since the tariffs have gotten into place. I hardly ever ship anything to the States online anymore, and that used to be, the US used to be my biggest client base. And we've had a postal strike here recently, and I found that after that too, people just kind of lost confidence in Canada Post, so they're not buying nearly as much anymore. So you really need to buy stuff that is still desirable if you want to make this work, and it has to be at a good price point in order to, basically you need to be able to sell it to flippers, people who think that they can make more money off of you. These days, trying to find the end user is getting more and more difficult because people seem to be having less money despite hearing more and more stuff on the news that, like, you know, Boxing Day sales are record breaking and Black Friday sales are record breaking. I hear that all the time, but it's not reflected in my sales, at least not at my antique mall and not online. Let's take a look at this next bunch that I just finished cleaning. So we've got our Space Jam guy over here. We've got a G.I. Joe, some form of a Transformer crab, Fred. Another guy here, I don't know who he is. Another Ninja Turtle. Not sure if that's cultural appropriation nowadays. We've got possibly a Ninja Turtle. Is this Bebop or Rocksteady? I can't remember. I think it is. We've got a Ghostbuster. We've got some Batmans, a Jurassic Park Dino. Okay, let's go back onto the bin. Now, if you see anything in here that you think is valuable that I have no idea what it is, please let me know in the comment section below, because that will help me when I look things up. And check out this water. That's better. In you go. Look at these filthy, oh gosh, that guy's just, looks like the groundhog had his way with that one. Roger Rabbit. Let's throw some more in. Woody, no. Woody and Buzz are characters that always sell for me, and pretty quickly. So let me know what you would do with this collection. Would you have bought it sight unseen, basically? Like maybe you've seen the top, maybe 5%, 10% of it. One of the things I like best about this job is I like buying collections that are in this state. I really enjoy the kind of restoration, conservation of the items. Like I like bringing something back to life, and I've heard from other people that are doing the same thing as me. They also enjoy that. So let me know down below, A, if you would have bought this collection in the state it's in. B, if you also enjoy the cleaning process of these toys. Animaniacs. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm moving on to the big bin. Let's check out what I've got so far, and maybe you can tell me if there's anything that I missed. We've got the rubber wrestlers. We've got some Ninja Turtles, plus that dude at the top there. Nothing too outlandish yet. The only thing that I'm wondering about, well, A, I don't know what this guy is. He is filthy. Well, he was filthy. Now he's just dirty. And we have, what was my other, oh yeah, like is this like a invisible April O'Neil or something? So let's check out the bin. So this bin is probably 2 feet tall by maybe 1.5 feet wide. And let's just take a look at the top here. We've got some more Ninja Turtles. Man, this is definitely a very filthy bin. Okay, I'm just gonna pick out some more of these Ninja Turtles. I always try to keep them together like themes if I can in the meantime, so that it's a little easier to sort afterwards. Well, Superpowers Robin. I've washed about 5 or 6 more loads here. It's taking me a long time, but let's just do a little update to see what I've got so far. At the moment, nothing is jumping out at me as being too impressive, but still there's a lot of stuff, and I'm only about halfway through the bin still. So I've got a lot more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think a couple of these might be Toxic Avengers or Toxic Crusaders, something like that. I've never seen the Dino TMNT before. A few more Ghostbusters, Jurassic Park, dinosaurs missing the arm. Some more DC and Marvel figures, more Space Jam figures, and this poor Bart Simpson. So this is the haul so far. I'm gonna show you guys everything again at the end if I can, spread it all out so we can see just how much there is in these bins. But I'll show you now just how much I have left. About halfway, I guess, or a little less than halfway. But there are some bigger pieces that I think are pretty much garbage. So far, I don't think there's any pieces in here that I'd want to keep for myself. Well, I've been at this for nearly, probably 6 hours now, actually. And I'm getting very close to the bottom. My back is killing me. We're getting close, but it's getting dirtier as I get down. I've gone through at least 10 or 12 buckets of water. So, from here on out, I'm just going to finish it up, and then we're going to look at the haul as it is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, these are our spoils. And this is what it all boiled down to. Starting with the gargoyles group, or at least what I think. I'm not sure about this guy. Actually, I'm not even sure about this guy. He doesn't actually, I'm starting to think he's from a different line. He's still filthy. Actually, they're all pretty much filthy still. They unfortunately need probably like another washing, but enough is enough for now. Next up, we've got like random robots and Power Rangers. If there's anything in here that you see that you think is interesting and that I should maybe look into a little more, please let me know. I'd really appreciate that. There's the Toxic Avengers or Toxic Crusaders. I could have a few like that are not part of this. It might be a Ninja Turtle or something or other. Now we're up for the random superhero lot. I'm wondering if this is Lex Luthor from Superpowers, maybe? Scarecrow, Green Lantern from Superpowers, Robin. We've got lots of Batman. We've got a couple Wolverines. We've got some superpowers. Now we can't forget the classic rubber wrestlers. We got some Space Jam, or at least what I think is Space Jam. I have no idea about this guy. I just kind of figure he kind of looks like he's part of the group. And get ready for some Jurassic Park. 5 figures, 4 dinosaurs, and now we have some Ghostbusters. A little worse for wear, but these are probably my favorites of all the figures, just because they're so kind of weird and creepy. We have a bag of miscellaneous kind of bits and pieces, a lot of kind of junky little things that would be in a garage sale. Nothing too crazy. Some McDonald's toys, Disney stuff. I'm not gonna take those out of the bag. Now these are the Ninja Turtles, but I have 3 bags of Ninja Turtle stuff, which is great because they're, you know, a popular line. And here is the entirety of the second 2 bags. I've merged them all together. It's a little bit overwhelming. It's kind of like, where's Waldo? Up here at the top, we've got kind of the, you know, not so common characters, I guess. Some of these guys. I'm not sure if he's actually I don't think he is now I'm looking at him. Anyway, he's from somewhere. So these guys, lots of ones that I've never seen before. And lastly, we have this box of miscellaneous stuff. So none of these things in here, there was only like 1 or 2 of that I didn't have enough stuff to, you know, put into bags, put them together. There's a couple of biker mice from Mars in there. Not sure who this guy is. We got some Master of the Universe, He-Man. Lots of random stuff in here. 1 Street Shark missing the arm. Is this a Boglin? Bunch of these little, well, 3 of these little guys. I can't remember the names of them, but I had them as a kid when they were highly coveted. A couple trolls in there. I'm the baby. And that's it. So thanks so much for watching the video with me and going through it with me. If you saw any hidden gems, I'd love to know what you think down below. And did I do a good job buying these? I'm pretty pleased with it by the end of it, just based on the quantity alone. And there's a lot of kind of cool pieces in here. If I could sell them individually, I think I'll do all right. Quite well, actually. They are still kind of dirty and a little smelly, so there's got to consider that. And you got to factor in I put about 10 hours into this, tidying them all up and organizing them and everything else. So my fingers are all wrinkly from being in the water for so long. Thanks so much, you guys, and if you like this video, then if I get 100 likes, how about this? From the same guy I bought a big collection of comics from in the past. He had 1 box of comics left, and I bought them basically sight unseen. I just kind of rifled through the top. They're all like, they look like 90s stuff, but I don't know because I didn't go through 99% of them. So if this video gets 100 likes, then I will do another video where I go through each one of these comics and we see if there's any gems in there, because I don't know, but I am itching to find out. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.